What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Gadget Beard. Today we're going to do a quick review on the Sony Xperia XA1 Ultra. Quick specs rundown. I'm just going to post them right here. Freeze it if you guys want to see the specs. Boom, right there. Alright, so now that you have the little specs there out of the way, I'm going to start the review with things that I don't like about the phone and then things that I like about the phone. So we're going to start with number one. There's no fingerprint scanner on this phone. Now, no Sony in the US have fingerprint scanners. That's correct. But the lack of fingerprint scanner makes it a little nuisance trying to put in a pin or a pattern or anything to get into your phone. So I just don't have no lock screen or anything, no pin, no code, because I'm so used to the fingerprint scanner. In today's world, a $200 budget phone has a fingerprint scanner. A $100 budget phone has a fingerprint scanner. Why does this $400 originally retail that $399 phone doesn't have a fingerprint scanner? I don't know, you tell me. Number two, even though it has a 6-inch display, I don't like that it does not let you saturate the display. It almost looks, it's an IPS display, but it almost looks like it's washed out. You can saturate the content you see on a display. You can saturate, you can make, there's this super vivid mode on here. So if you go to settings, you go to display, there is image enhancement under quality, and it has a super vivid mode that actually lets you saturate the colors of content you're watching, like YouTube or pictures or anything. So it looks good in that form, but once you exit that, you exit the content you're watching, the colors on like icons and stuff like that just look very dull to me, and I that's one thing I don't like about what Sony did with this display. Also, it does give you the white balance adjustment, which lets you balance. It lets you calibrate the whites if you like colder whites or warmer whites, which that's a good thing that Sony lets you do. But it doesn't give you any enhancements. The Pixel just recently launched where you can boost your colors, you can have it natural, or you can have it super vivid or super saturated display. There's all these other OEMs that allow you to play with your display, and Sony didn't allow you with that, and that's a big fail for me. Number three, the cameras. It has a 23 megapixel camera in the rear, 16 in the front, or front-facing flash. For being a 23 megapixel, the quality in the pictures, they're just simply all right. They're not great. They're not. Some of them you can get one that's gonna be good, but most of them are just all right. You can get by with the camera, but don't expect great pictures. Don't expect anything fantastic out of the camera here, and in video as well. Okay guys, so we have the front-facing camera here. Here's the sample. Let me know how I look. Let me know how I sound. Also, it does have auto-focusing tracking on my face, so let me know if that works, if it keeps me in focus as I move around, as I shift back and forth. Also, it does have other options for video quality for the front-facing camera. It's full HD. I believe it's standard and VGA and MMS, in case you want to send a video message, which nobody does that, by the way. So, okay, now let's turn around and see the front-facing, the rear-facing quality of this camera. Okay, so this is the rear-facing camera. Now the three options for video quality in the back. It does not have 4K recording. It is Full HD, VGA, and MMS, just as the front-facing camera. But it does have an option for HDR video, which I do have that enabled. So let me know how I look. Let me know how I sound. Leave comments below. And thanks for watching the samples of the front-facing camera and the rear-facing camera. Peace. I'm out. Don't expect anything great out of these cameras, and that was a big disappointment for me because Sony makes all these sensors that are on all these flagship devices, and yet they fail on this device. I'm pretty sure they have a Sony sensor in here, and it's just like its software is just not optimized for those sensors, and for having a 23 megapixel camera, you're not getting great pictures. The last thing I didn't like about this phone was the stock launcher. The stock launcher for me was very confusing to use. I did not like it at all. You know, I've tried it for a couple days and I just couldn't get the hang of it. Couldn't get used to it. I installed a different launcher. I installed Nova, and with Nova the phone just ran a lot better. You know, it was a lot easier to use. Number one, no fingerprint scanner. Number two, there's no saturation mode on the display. Number three, the cameras are, you know, all right. They're not good. 23 megapixel camera, all right. It's not good. And last but not least, the stock launcher sucked. Now let's go into the things I do like about this phone. Number one, the build quality. The build quality on this phone is amazing. You do have a plastic back, but you got metal frame on the sides here, and the design is your typical Sony phone. You know, it's sharp edges on the top and the bottom, and rounded edges on the side. It just makes this phone look unique and just feels like a premium device in your hand. It feels good in your hand, has some nice heft to it. So the design and build quality of this phone I like. Number two, the 6-inch display. Even though, you know, I didn't like that it didn't have the saturation mode on the display, the 6-inch display on this device is great for content consuming, watching YouTube videos, watching movies, you know, looking at pictures, web surfing, everything. 6-inch display, awesome. Number three, I love that this phone is basically stock Android. By changing out that Sony stock launcher and installing Nova Prime, the phone basically feels and runs like stock Android. The only thing Sony customized was the menu settings a little bit. They just added a couple icons and stuff like that. They do have like a theme and wallpaper theme here. But other than that, it's basically stock Android. Another thing that I also like, being that it's so close to stock Android, is that Sony's been very good with updates, actually, with security updates. It is on the latest November up security patch, which is pretty good for a Sony phone and pretty good for an unlock $400 phone. Usually a lot of OEMs skip, you know, security patches here and there, and they do them quarterly. But to my knowledge, I think Sony's doing them every month, like Google, which is a big go. Now, this device has a 2700 milliamp battery, but the battery life on this device is really good. It lasts me all day. I get about 5 to 6 hours sometimes of screen on time, depending on what I'm using it for, and depending on how my daily usage was. But for being that small, 2700 milliamp battery on a 6-inch device, you know, at least 3000. But Sony knew what they were doing, and the reason why you're getting great battery life, it's because it's paired with the the Helio the MediaTek Helio P20. Now the MediaTek Helio P20 is a battery efficient processor. For the most part, performance. Let's get into performance now. For the most part, performance. I like the device because it's gonna run pretty good, for the most part lag free. For most of your tasks. The only times I really did see an issue was the beginning of any game, not any game. Well, let's talk about Marvel Champions. At the beginning of any match, it did stutter a little bit, but then it ran smoothly. But that's the only time I saw it jitter and skip and slow down. I played the game for about 30-40 minutes and ran perfectly fine for that time. On your day-to-day basis, your day-to-day tasks and everything, you're not gonna see it slow down. You're not gonna feel it slow down. You're not gonna see like, oh my god, it's so slow. But it runs good, and the reason why it runs good and sometimes tends to slow down because it's a battery efficient processor. So therefore, it needs to limit itself to what it can do. But you get a great battery life with it. So overall, this device, I bought it for $299. For a $299 price tag, it's a great device. It's a great device if you need a phone for a year, or if you need a secondary phone, or you want to buy this phone as a gift to either a parent, a son, or anything, even for yourself. It's a great device. It's a great device for media consumption, gaming, anything like that. Don't expect to get the greatest pictures with this device. Don't expect to get the greatest performance with the device because it's a mid-tier phone. You're not going to get all that. Build quality feels very premium. Like I said, it feels good in hand. I love the design. I like the build of this phone. So do I recommend this phone? I do, but for $299. I bought it on sale at Best Buy for $299. I probably wouldn't buy it for $399. This is a $400 phone. It's $399 regular price. Now, if the price went back up to $399, I'd rather save my money and buy a OnePlus 5T or the new Honor V10 that's gonna release next month. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And like always, guys, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.